Welcome everybody to the Power F1 Azerbaijan Grand Prix. We've got a lovely track ahead of us and quite a wonderful street track, a beloved one. That is round 3, that is to be exact, for the Power F1 calendar this season, season 4 to be exact. The Baku City Circuit, quite an infamous one for a lot of controversy and a lot of battles. But Nico Rosberg and Valtteri Bottas being the only 2 pole sitters ever to go on to win the Grand Prix. So maybe we'll see another of that today. As well as Valtteri Bottas back in 2016 was held the unofficial high-speed record for 278 kilometers an hour. We've got a 20-turn track, 6 kilometers or about 3.7 miles. So we got a lot of action ahead of us. 2 DRS zones for a lot of exciting fun today, especially like the castle section. We've got the 3 compounds of tires, the soft, medium, and hard as normal, but then we might be expecting the intermediates and wets. Besides me today, I have Bill Walters, Freako as we might know him as well. Welcome to the casting booth today.
How's it going? Looks like we got a little bit of a weather issue here. Those look like green striped intermediates that our runners are out there with.
Gotta get you guys the game audio. I mean, how are we gonna figure anything out here?
Oh no.
This is not good. This is not good. Bill, we got a little bit of an issue here.
Vroom, 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 vroom. Vroom, vroom. I guess I'm not the sound effect guy.
Wait, maybe we do.
Maybe we do? Ooh, there's hope yet. All right. Well, here's what I
know. We do.
Okay, we do have audio. All right. So
yeah. Proceed as normal.
Okay. All right, green flag's out. Let's go. All right. We have 8 of our 14 runners putting in a lap. It looks like a little bit of a issue before we were able to start the stream, with a couple of racers running into problems with the wet weather here and not able to set a time.
Yeah, with Baku in particular, I feel like as a street circuit, it's going to be... Oh, as we catch... Whoa! Whoa, what timing? Bill, what timing did we just hit? That's commentator's curse if I've ever seen that. Whew. Well, as I was going to say, Baku... Yeah. As I was going to say, Baku is a great street track, but it's going to require a lot of the drivers to be on edge, especially with the close walls. Now, being in the wet, it's going to make that even harder. And I think we just got evidence of that right now.
Wow. Clean up in aisle 4. My God.
Where's the mop? Where's the mop?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, we're going to need more than the mop for
that
one. Wow. Okay. Showing the expert physics model of F1 2022 here as well. So, whew. That was a bit of a trip there for Ethan in what I believe was a Haas before it simultaneously exploded in front of our eyes.
Yes. So we've got a great, interesting qualifying, I would say, with intermediates possibly going into a dry race. What are your takes so far on Baku, obviously having the Academy race yesterday?
Well, so far, we can have some good racing if people stay clean. The problem is we have things like the castle turn, which makes things very difficult to stay clean. You have to be patient going into that section of the track. If you get, that sense of, well, I'm going to get in front of that guy, you're going to put yourself into a wall, and probably your buddy's going into a wall too, which might not make for the best continuation of your race past that point.
Indeed. I think the biggest thing for this track is the DRS. And when it gets disabled or it's not active, it's a very slow track. You have a lot of tight technical corners into then this very long straight, and the DRS really exaggerates that straight a lot more, and without it, it feels very sluggish.
That is true. You want a good exit speed going into the straightaways, and if you don't get that exit speed, you're going to lose a ton of time. And if you're the one in front, oh, you got to make that car about 3 times wider than it really is. And oh, it looks like it's throwing debris out on the track there. Looks like a couple tires getting tossed out there. Oh no. Alright, so what do we got here? We got just under 3 minutes left, so I think we're going to see a couple more runners leave out of the pits and give it one final shot at putting up a time here.
As Rickety is only 3/10 behind Castrofias, who's in the, I think that's the the Alpine driver, looking to have a really good start. Obviously, further up the grid, the better. With Baku in particular, as we mentioned, a lot of carnage ends up happening around this track. So being further up the grid just promotes getting out of that incidence a little bit better. So we'll see if he can try to stay ahead into turn 1. Now, Bill, turn 1 is a quick run from where the drivers line up. It's going to be a quick battle right into there.
Yeah, it should be pretty wide open, but then you can, with what I saw yesterday, drivers would get kind of locked up with each other wheel to wheel, and then it is a street race, so you don't have runoff area, and you just kind of into the wall you go, and bye-bye. So hopefully we see a little cleaner racing compared to what we saw yesterday.
Indeed, and we just missed it, but JTK in the Alpine has just at a 28.0 on those intermediate tires, showing that there's still pace that is to be had out on those tires.
Well, it doesn't look like it. Well, it looked like it was raining just a little bit when we caught a glimpse of the pit lane, but it doesn't look slowing things down. It looks like it's still allowing the track to pick up speed as it gets laid down, and we go under 148 now. Rickety says, no sir, JTK, the top of the leaderboard is mine. Thank you very much. 147.859.
Yeah,
additional pole right now.
And a quick driver we know, Rickety, looking to really take hold of the championship, are a previous World Drivers Champion here at Power F1. So we know he's a quick driver, and we're waiting to see if he can show forth that pace here today at Baku. And starting off right in qualifying is starting P1 on pole.
Yeah, that would be a very good way to state a case. It looks like we had one of the runners slowing down and making way for people potentially on a flying lap. Hopefully they're able to get their laps in as we see Crumps follow.
First to take the flag.
Yeah. So that'll be it for him. It looks everybody else is at least out on the track.
And JCK is going to be coming in. He's not going to go for another one. Feels pretty comfortable, confident with that lap. At least he's on the front row. So that's confident for him, at least nonetheless.
For now, he's on the front row, at least.
That is true.
There are, let's see, I see 2 orange dots. One of them is Rickety, who I believe slowed down to allow his teammate Suyan a clean run. So we'll see if Suyan is able to improve on his time, as well as a couple other runners that might still be on flying laps.
Yeah, we're going to have Suyan to be the first to take the next checkered flag out of the last of the drivers. See, feeling confident. Maybe he's going to improve his time, but not as much as he thinks. by 3.5 tenths, but unfortunately doesn't move him any further up the grid. Lars takes the checkered flag. Rickety obviously is coming in. Catastrophius going to be the next to take the checkered flag. Will he improve on his time? Trying to have to beat a 48.3. If he can improve by 3 tenths, he can get ahead of his teammate. By 5.5 tenths, Bio the checkered flag takes pole position. And Lepson retires, calls it a quits, doesn't think he's going to be able to improve. So Catastrophius going to be our pole sitter for today. What a exciting end to that. I mean, not even a 10th gap between the two.
Wow. Right down to the wire with that. Our last runner on the last possible flying lap takes pole, 147.783. As you can see, the gap, 7.5 tenths of a second, hundredths of a second even. Wow.
That is, yeah, like you said, down to the wire.
And that's about the gap between the two.
These are like some pro tier pace, I would say. Like, you know, pretty close gaps. Granted, it's in the wet, so, you know, we can't say who's the fastest now is going to relay over to if it's a dry race. So we'll have to see. And if anyone had to make any setup changes, if it is a wet race. So we'll have to see who's able to adapt on the fly here in a couple minutes. But yeah, like you said, down to the wire.
Now, it is a variable weather, so wet qualifying does not necessarily mean a wet race. So we'll see what we get thrown at us. Looks like clear skies here in the pictures, but you know, once you get off the plane and get out there, it doesn't quite look like the pictures. Although, if this is anything to speak of, it looks a little sunny with our opening picture here of what might be on-track footage here.
Yeah, it's looking pretty dry so far, so it's good news for the drivers as we're going to have better, more intense racing, and maybe a good checkup for some of the drivers that weren't able to do the wet driving in that qualifying that we saw DNF earlier that looked to try to attempt stuff on the softs. So they'll get their second stab at it. We're having, if I'm not wrong, I think it's 33 laps, right? Or 29.
Half distance would be 33, yes.
Yeah. So we have a good amount of racing. Hopefully we can get more under green flag than yesterday. I think that's just the biggest goal for us today.
Yeah, that, you know what, yesterday was what it was. Yeah, it's that point where it's like, okay, let's just move on. Oh, I'm sorry. It was 33 at Spain. It's 26 here in Baku.
We were wanting more. We wanted more racing. We want more from yesterday. Maybe. Catastrophius. Oh, and that's a little reset. We don't like those. He missed his braking point. He's going to slow everyone else down. And we see TC has DQ'd with Crumps. They had a little bit of contact. As we know, if you touch while on formation lap, you're going to reset to the grid. You're going to have cold tires. You're not going to be able to warm up those tires, even if you did do any warm-up phase. So he's going to miss out on that too. So look for him to maybe possibly fall off the start.
Yeah, having cold tires is not an ideal situation for a start of a race, that's for sure. This formation lap can kind of make it or break it for you at the start. Keep a clean formation lap. As we see the predicted pit stop strategy, we'll see what I think the best strategy is. Start on the mediums, get onto the hards, one stop, and just go.
And we're going to see it's actually a pretty split grid between most of the drivers in terms of their strategy. As you mentioned, starting the mediums, go to the hards. Some still electing, though, to start onto those hards. So still trying the alternate strategy nonetheless. And with the option of a possible safety car, which is quite high here at Baku, it plays into who's maybe going to be able to think on the fly really quickly as well.
Yeah, if you can go late on the hard tires and get maybe 20 laps in, you know, a forced safety car for you at someone else's expense, unfortunately, get on the softs and just kind of go the rest of the way. That, you know, it's not a bad roll of the dice. The worst that happens is you go, okay, it's lap, 17 or so. All right, my hards are done. Get me onto mediums, and we'll go from there.
Indeed, as we see the drivers coming to their grid spots. Now, the nice thing about this new game this year of F1 22 is drivers can elect to move into their grid spot in a certain angle and direction. I think we see that a little bit as Rickety was trying to angle himself, be able to come and attack at Catastrophius, whereas Catastrophius is angled a little bit to the left. As we got the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 red lights, we pause. And we're underway at Azerbaijan, the Grand Prix here today. And Catastrophe has got a great start, and it looks like Rickety a little bit slow off the line as we have a little bit of contact in the back already. And a couple people electing to take to the runoff as we have carnage all through turn 1 as we expected. Crumps, our first driver out of the race. And we have ourselves a VSC. A full course. It's a full course.
Yeah, that's a full course. Safety car on its way out. We can see that bright yellow dot leaving from the pit lane. It looked like somebody made contact,
and it looks like Lepson, I think, was that Alfa Romeo we saw that took a little damage off the start that spun into the pit wall.
Yeah, but even going into the first turn, into the runoff, we had maybe a couple front wings claimed, as it looks like one of the, there are 2 front wings that I see.
Yeah, that's Suyen, the McLaren.
Yeah, so it looks like 2 souvenirs for the fans out by turn 1. If they want to get a little memorabilia there.
If anyone wants to put their hand up, we'll more be happy to throw them out there, and you can take home a piece of carbon fiber. So, I think, as we mentioned, the safety car is going to be pretty prominent at this track. It seems to be most of the time. And we've already got our first one. Not short of it. Now it's going to be, do any drivers probably not want to elect to maybe possibly change their strategy now that they can see some of the other drivers around them, what they're running?
Well, you're going to have 2 people going into the pits to fix their wings, and I think that gives them a bit of a strategy decision to make between them.
And just to check on this, let's see who's made some good gains, though, off the line. Two Shark, it's my doppelganger. 6 positions off the start. It's a good win. Obviously, Lepson, Crumps, Suyen, obviously getting into incidents off the line, the first to fall. Unstoppable, though. I don't think we saw him take any damage, or possibly. We'll have to see. But if he did, we'll see if he gets a wing replacement here. And it looks like he might. He is.
No? All right, is it a wing? Yeah, there's the wing. It's ready and waiting for him. So it looks like we have 3 runners coming into the pits. Although, whoa.
Just gets ahead of Suyen.
All right, so ahead of Suyen, so we got 2 runners going to catch up to the pack here. And it looks like Lepson, presently in the pits, going to try to put Humpty Dumpty back together again. As
that didn't look like it was fully on. That wing, we got to check that real quick.
Yeah, got to make sure you attach all the little wing nuts and screws there before you let them out of there. A little bit of game glitch, shall we call it?
I didn't see anything. Did you?
Looks like it's attached, so it's good enough for me.
Indeed. So again, I think, as we mentioned, 2 Shark, Gamma B, he's made up 6 positions. Now, he was one of the group of people that weren't able to qualify at the beginning of the session. So he's going to be one that's going to be ecstatic to be able to move up that far without having to qualify really high.
Well, to be in 5th and gain 6 spots, that puts him in 11th. And we know there were only 8 drivers that set times in qualifying. So, yeah, the story checks out. A pretty fortunate run for Gamma B, I believe, is the actual name of your doppelganger.
Indeed.
Okay. So a pretty fortunate go of things, avoiding the carnage, shall we say, of the first turn and after. So it looks like we're gonna hold position here, and we're gonna tick-tock the clock. So it should be lap 4 will resume racing, as we'll hopefully see a message later on this lap that the safety car is going to come in. It looks like Lepson still needs to catch up to the rest of the pack.
He's coming down the main straight now. Well, about 25 seconds back, but the safety car will continue to slow down every lap just to give him that extra opportunity to catch up. So we should be hopefully expecting it this lap. I'd love to say, is he's now only just one straightaway away.
Yeah, we'll see if it brings in. There is a point where it will just put a message out and says, okay, safety car in this lap. And it's usually around the 3/4 point of the lap. I'm not sure if that's where the yellow, what should be a DRS detection zone is, but that might be where it decides, okay, we're going to pull in the safety car, and that's when the message shows up. A little bit of a nuance that is lost on me, because it's one of those things I've never quite entirely figured out.
Indeed. Now, looks like Lepson is close enough now, so we should be expecting the safety car to come in, and then all eyes will be back onto Catastrophius, who's had a great day so far. Pole sitter, stayed away from all the incidents and all the accidents, and at the end of it is still P1.
Yeah, it does look like Lepson is now, pretty much right on the back of Suyan.
Which,
and yeah,
race control made it.
Car in this lap.
So it's time to restart. We're gonna go on board with Catastrophius. We'll see him getting his tires, his car ready. Now the rule is he is allowed to go when permitted, and I think he's just taken off. He's gone for it. Most other drivers would like to wait. It's a very long straight, but he's going for it. And I think he's caught Lars sleeping just a little bit, already almost a second away. But that straight is showing its strength. Lars is now catching back up and is going to try to go for a move up to turn 1 in the inside.
Oh boy.
Oh, and there's a little contact. They have spun.
Oh, yeah.
Both of them have spun.
No. Oh no.
And that is not what you want to see.
No, not at all. We want to see good, clean racing, and no way to really assign blame to that. Both
we've
drivers
lost.
wanted the spot.
And continuing the carnage yet again, the Williams of Marek Ivanek, I'm gonna go with that, Ivanek, has lost his front wing. So we've got another front wing gone. Anybody put your hands up, we are happy to throw out some carbon fiber.
Yeah, it looks like anybody around the vicinity of turn 2, you're our lucky winner of a little bit of a souvenir from this race going on here.
And we can't go too far away from the front of the grid, because now TC Mustache is in P1 and Gemma B is now in P2. He's right behind him, only 4/10, and they've already pulled 1.6 seconds clear from the rest of the grid. And Rocco making a pass into the tight left-hand turn. Be careful though, don't hit the wall. A lot of people do that.
Well, Rickety, a strong runner in qualifying, still in 4th place, but he's on the hard tire. 3 people on the mediums out in front of him. So,
and we might be seeing a pass for the lead here, as Gamma B and TC Mustache now going for a drag race down the main straight. Let's see if they can keep it clean though into turn 1. As Gamma B goes for the fastest lap, they go for a little switch between the two of them. It's kept clean. It's ran a little wide, but it's still driving. They're still going forward, so I'm happy about that.
Yeah, that's always a good sign. So, I got a little distracted there. A Discord notification went off that we are going live with round 3. So, surprise, round 3 started 5 laps ago for everybody who just got that notification.
We're still live.
Yeah.
So it looks like to be the top 5, top 6 are really still a tight gap between all of them. So we'll be looking towards when DRS comes around. Now, Kima B is now pulled a second clear of TC Mustache. Let's see if TC can maybe get back into that DRS once, you know, the straight comes around, because that's going to be important, because if he's not, Rocco's right behind him. Rocco's going to be trying to say P2 is going to look like mine. He's going to be licking his lips.
Oh no. Let's, can we go back to Merrick? Because I think he may have come in, pitted, and then, no, his car is still intact. All right.
He's still moving forward.
Yeah, that is a good thing, because I saw the local yellow come out in Sector 1, and I saw that car over there in Sector 1.
Oh, that is a big crash. That is a big crash. Lepsin has spun, and I think Suyan is unfortunately out of the race, and I think that is yes, that is another full course safety car.
Oh my.
What's the term in oval racing? Cautions breed cautions? I think we found that here today.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Once one comes out, it's like you just open the floodgates. Everybody starts to get antsy when you're going slow, because, you know, you want to go fast.
And I think we're now further enough, we are seeing a possible change of strategy now for some of these drivers.
Well, you got what should be 7 laps in the books for those who might want to come in and go, all right, how far did I really want to go on my medium tires?
Indeed.
You know, can I go the rest of the way on the hard tires? Or do I really want to try it? And if cautions truly do breed more cautions, do I gamble and go on the softs? Thinking, all right, well, if I get another caution, I can just go, you know, 6 laps or so. We've already seen 2 cautions in 6 laps. Is it worth the risk?
At this point, it might be worth just staying on, right now, possibly on the medium or soft, if we could be expecting this frequent of a safety car. Now, luckily, though, compared to yesterday, we have more drivers, so we can continue to push on, excuse me, after even a couple DNFs. So we don't have to worry about having to red flag the race and give everybody a second chance. We will push forward with the racing. So we're going to see the execution of further strategy throughout the entire race, whether that's going to be another VSC, another safety car, or just closer battling nonetheless.
Yeah, we'll see how it ends up developing, but I would expect to see a couple runners go into the pits here, especially if they're, I would think Lepsin might consider going on to the hards. Rickety's
already made that pit. He's just pitted to mediums. Catastrophius has gone to those, went to the hards, and then Magnatech was the other person that pit. The 3 people who's also into the mediums. So we'll see if anyone maybe takes some liberty here. I don't see anybody moving to the left here. Possibly. Oh wait, do we have somebody? I think we have a taker.
Yeah, it looks like we do have one.
Catastrophius maybe went to the wrong select and tire. He maybe went to the hards, wanted the mediums instead, and I think we got that indeed. He's going to switch to the mediums and a wing change. Oh, they're moving like the Flash.
Wow.
Look at that.
I wish I could have a pit crew like that.
Me too. I would love that. So the safety car has completed its 1 full lap. And with Catastrophius not too far away, I think we could be expecting the grid to be restarting and getting another green flag lap or rest of the race. Fingers crossed, rest of the race. I don't want any more. Safety car, I love you, but we got to keep you in the pit lane. So yeah, we should hopefully be restarting this lap.
Yeah, that would be an ideal situation. The more green flag laps we get, you know, the more hopefully good, clean racing we see, although we do have to grade on the curb because Baku is a tough track. There's just no way to, you know, say, all right, well, there's, no, Baku is a tough track. If you make a mistake, There's no runoff areas. You're just into the wall and probably done. So mistakes are magnified here on this track, where other tracks you have the benefit of being able to get into a runoff area, get back out on the track, and kind of, oh, well, whoops, my bad.
Indeed. Now, we would get that call here any second if we are coming in this lap. Race control has said, looks to be... No, it's a late call. It's a late call from race control. The safety car is coming in, and all eyes are to the Red Bull.
Oh!
And it looks like he is going for a real slow restart. Unlike Catastrophius, who went for a quick restart, the Red Bull driver is going to be taking his time. Now, he has to, all the time he needs, all the way up to the start-finish line. Once he crosses that line, it is fully green flag, and I think it looks like he has gone for it. But he doesn't have as good of a start as Catastrophius. But the Alpha Tauri driver of Rocco is right behind TC Mustache, the Haas. Will he make a move into turn 1? He pulls out, and he gets ahead cleanly. I don't think TC Mustache maybe got his tires warmed up all the way. It's still side by side between the two. And so far, a clean restart.
Yeah, this is going to be, if we can get turn 1 and turn 2, everybody makes it through, then we can, you know, all right, we're on the way. We're
it's TC.
on the way to a clean lap. All right.
Oh, that is tight. That was a tight move. And TC Mustache looking to be really feisty off the restart and is now fighting for his life. Now, possibly, do we think the mediums are maybe getting worn in just a little too much compared to the hards at this point? So it looks like JTK with the hard tires and some of those behind. Oh, as we see Lars getting a little bit of a tank slapper behind them. But do we think the hards are maybe catching up to those mediums right now?
Well, the mediums, we've got 3 full real laps on them.
Oh, Bill, I've lost you. I've lost you through the tunnel.
We got a little bit of Domo Arigato, Mr. Roboto.
I got you. We're back. We're back.
Sorry,
I made it on the other side of the tunnel.
Ah, all right. Excellent.
And I think we might be seeing the hards maybe starting to phase into where the mediums are just on even as pace. So it looks like JTK is able to really keep and pace well with TC Mustache on those similar lap old tires.
That might well be the case, where you're starting to run into where the hard tires are going to be more effective. They're basically just getting into where I think their maximum use will be, as the medium tires might start to show a little sign. Oh boy. Oh.
It looks like TC went a little deep into turn 2, lost a little bit of his front wing. And now JTK and Verkins are side by side. Now Verkins currently is our championship leader. So eyes are on him to see if he can perform well to continue his championship lead through the first 2 races.
Yeah, staying at the front is definitely going to be of help to stay at the top of the leaderboard. I am a dirt track, I am oval racer, so I'm not necessarily looking to win every race like you do in Formula 1. I'm just looking to get as far up the pack as I can. You know, if I catch a podium here or there, it's consistency more than, you know, win this race, flip the car the next race, win the 3rd race, so on and so forth.
On board with Verkins, I think he's going to provide a great view of this battle between JTK and TC Mustache. If they're going to be battling, it's going to be on the straight here. He's lost the entire front wing.
Oh, no.
It's completely come off his car. The Haas is now fighting for every little ounce of just racing room at this point before he gets to this to the pit lane.
Yikes. Oh, that just, you know, you see these unfortunate incidents happening, and I really think it just looks like somebody's, you know, trying to overdrive their car more than anything else.
And we see him pulling in.
They're trying to do too much.
Now, I think what I'm more curious about, obviously he's going to be getting a wing change, but do we think he's going to be going to the hards at this point? Do we think he's going to be playing for the long game now?
if you assume no safety cars are coming out, you go on the hards and just hope for the best at this point.
It looks like you are correct. We've gone to the hard tires for TC Mustache, and he's going to be going back out. Now, a good amount away behind Magnatech, but I don't think you should be worried too much, as there's still always that possibility of another safety car. So we should still be comfortable and still continue to push on, because that couple 5 to 10 seconds could mean the difference between getting ahead of 1 to 2 people when that safety car comes.
Well, you have to look at it this way. All right, I went into the pits first before anybody else does.
Oh!
Oh, no.
We just caught that. We just caught that. Unstoppable goes right into the wall, has lost his left front tire. And I speak of the devil, it's another full course safety car.
Oh, no. All
that
right.
is 3 in 10 laps.
Just mute my mic at this point, because every time I talk, oh, no. Oh.
Bill,
You know,
cautions breed cautions.
I was just going to say that we see Ethan on the board there 22 seconds back. He would basically be the first person to, make the, the full pit stop, because all your medium runners now are really going to be in range to just get onto the hards.
And it looks
as
so.
We see our first and second place runners switching over.
And we have JTK. JTK is going to be the odd one out here. He's on the hard tires and is taking a pit stop. What are your thoughts on that, Bill?
Well, let's see. Everybody that's coming into the pits were on 0 tires. JTK onto the mediums.
Oh, and that's close. Gamma B just getting ahead of Catastropheus on the pit exit.
This is going to be rough for JTK, is about all I could really say about this. Lepson also in the same boat, switching, getting off. Whoa, wait a second. That is not the
That is not how you want to restart this this Grand Prix. And oh, Ethan, look at him. The pit stop comes in handy at this point and gets ahead of, oh no, he's been given the illegal overtake under safety car. So he does have to give it back, but he's caught back up.
Spot back.
There's an entire pack right ahead of him. And it looks like his teammate, Lars, and the other Haas, is the leader of this detached pack.
All right, so we got Lars 13 seconds behind, so they'll catch up as the safety car slows everybody in the lead pack down. So that we don't really have to worry too much about. I think we might see one more lap worth of caution to allow the pack to fully bunch together. But let me go back to what is the elephant in the room, as it were, as Lepson and JTK both switching onto the mediums and asking 14 laps of your medium tires under green flag conditions. That's a lot.
They must be playing for another safety car. Has to be.
That is about the only thing I can think of. But I mean, if you're on the hard tires, if you're Verkins, for example, you're kind of caught in the middle, because what are you really going to do? You come in, you pit onto the mediums, and then you jump into the same boat as everybody else. But you're also sitting duck for pretty much everybody behind you who's on fresher tires.
Indeed. I think the eyes are really going to be on Verkins, right? Our championship leader at the moment after 2 rounds. The pressure's on him. He's in the prime position to possibly continue to defend his championship lead. And he's caught in a pickle. A couple drivers behind him also on some worn tires. When will he pit? And where will he come out? And how will he recover? Obviously on the hard tires is going to be a little bit of a struggle on this restart. Could we expect him probably to make a pit stop here soon? Or with all the safety cars, maybe he could be going to the softs here and really try to overstretch these hards.
That was going to be something that came into my mind, and I did mention it at the beginning, that you could try to take the hard tires all the way out to lap 20 or so, and then switch over to the softs and make a run of it, and try to basically make up whatever time you may have lost on the hards with those soft tires.
So we should be seeing the safety car come in this lap. So you will see all those drivers giving a little wiggle back and forth, trying to wave hi to us or just warming up their tires. Either one. I like to think that they're waving at us and saying hi. Now, this is the infamous castle section. So far, no one has died through here yet. So we're doing good so far.
Well, it's been leading up into the castle section where everybody is,
said au revoir.
Yeah. Yeah, one way or another, it's been, I really think, I can't say for sure, but I think people are just trying to overdrive their car. And they're getting themselves into trouble going, well, I can make this pass, and then, oh, I'm out of room. Uh-oh.
Indeed.
Smack.
And there it is. The word from race control. The safety car is in this lap. Eyes are on our championship leader currently, Verkins, in the Ferrari, the scarlet red. As Enzo Ferrari once said, tell a kid to paint a car, he'll paint it red. Can he do the Scuderia proud here today at Baku?
Well, let's see when he decides to give it the go.
I think it's gone.
Behind him.
He's gone for it.
Oh yeah,
again,
got a bit of a jump there. That was pretty good.
Now, Bill, tell me if I'm wrong, but a lot of these drivers looking to be going for a really early restart.
I think I would have wanted to keep the pace of the race slower. With the worn hard tires, I do not want anyone getting a run on me. So I would want to get through turn 1 and hopefully turn 2 before anybody really had a chance to get up to speed. We should see Rickety try to make a move as we see the interval going down.
And I think we've just lost our championship leader. Looks to be Merrick.
Uh-oh.
And
no.
Merrick and Rocco going for a battle. JTK and Lepson. JTK just getting by, and it looks like Lepson might be getting passed yet again. Or it's definitely under pressure for sure. No, that is the Haas. That is the Haas ahead of him. Lars under pressure. Or no, pressuring JTK after that pass that he just made. And Gamma B getting ahead of Verkins. Now, unfortunately, Verkins is that ghosted car. We'll be hoping to see him return back to the session here in a little bit. We want to continue to see him race. Now, that does destroy a little bit of his strategy as he's not now in the race and his AI is not driving at its fullest compared to him.
Oh, yeah, that is definitely going to spoil things. If he's not able to reconnect, I believe he is forced into the pits.
His AI will drive however it feels.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I know.
All right.
Pleasant, right?
Well, unfortunately, that's not working out so well because, well, not into the pits just yet. But, moving from first to sixth place because of a disconnection or a connection issue of some kind is not optimal. Verkin's just falling like a rock through the leaderboard.
And something to keep in mind, Bill, is we only now have 11 drivers on the grid as we have seen the return of Verkins. He's back. Unfortunately, he's not going to be proud of how his AI has done, dropping from 1st to 7th. But 11 drivers only on the grid, so every driver should be given just the will just to keep going, keep fighting. You can still get something out of this race. As you said, consistency can win a championship just as much as winning races. So getting anything out of here today might just be as good.
Yeah, absolutely. If our runners stay clean, we look at one runner being outside of the points. Aside from that, at this point, you just want to make it to the end of the race. If you're pretty much everybody else, you'll get something out of this race, which, well, something is better than nothing, last I checked.
Indeed. So, it's better than nothing, and I think you would be proud to pull home, 1-2 points. Now, with our season this year, it's going to be half points. It's a shortened point total, so it's just try to include better and more intense battles in terms of the points in the championship. So drivers shouldn't feel like I get 1 or 2 points. It's not a a downer moment, hey, the next driver ahead of me maybe only got 3 or 4. So he doesn't feel as bad. Now, Rickety pulling the fastest lap, and I think we have JTK, Rocco, and Merrick maybe about to go 3 wide. It looked like down the main straight, but they keep it nice and tidy through turn 1, and I think that's the first time.
Disabled.
Oh. I think we're getting some droplets. I was going to say earlier, it looks like it's been overcast. Just a little bit. I think the tides have turned in terms of the weather. We have a yellow flag into Sector 1 that looks to be possibly... That is not Magnic. Is that Lepson? That is Lepson, who's lost another front wing. Oh, no. Carbon fiber continues to shed this track over and over again, and we do have rain. I think that is raindrops.
Yeah, this is definitely going to
spice
change
it up.
The entirety of this race as so close.
Talk about finding your margins. He's cutting it close on every turn as we see Lars now getting ahead. And I think Lars might have been the first person, or one of the first, to be able to get to the intermediates he has. So maybe looking for a late charge out of Lars. As I think we're on the wrong driver here.
Well,
there
we
it
got
is.
Lars, Magnetique, and Ethan already able to get into the pits. Lepson, oh yikes, just kind of caught out, still on the medium tire, but everybody else is going to have to make essentially a full circuit around.
Indeed. And that is Verkins. Oh no! Our championship leader has returned and has crashed it into the wall, and that has caused, with the rain, another full course safety car. Oh, he's put it right in the wall. I said it. I told you, Bill. I told you someone's going to put it right in the wall there.
Oh, such a shame. This gives Lepson at least a bit of a temporary pass, because now all he has to do is just kind of survive and get back around, get essentially a free... Whoa, boy.
Oh, he almost put it in the wall like Verkins.
Yeah, I was just about to say, all he's got to do, navigate these last couple turns.
And he's in the points.
Yeah, he's in the points. He really made an effort not to get into the points as he goes a little wide there.
And Lars looks to have gotten ahead of Merrick, who just exited the pit lane. Lars now takes P3 from being at the prime position to pit when DRS disabled.
Yeah, that, a little bit of unfortunate occurrences for some of our drivers early on.
Oh no. JTK. Oh. That's a naughty one. You gotta wait till the end. Unfortunately, JTK is our first one to pull in a penalty, a time penalty. We've gone 16 laps. No time penalty is the first one. Unfortunately, crossing the white line on the pit exit just a little too early. I know you get one warning from race control until you've been penalized, and that's not a fun one. I wish he could redo that pit exit.
Yeah, he'll want that one back, that's for sure. A 5-second time penalty is not a minor thing. You've got to be 5 seconds ahead of whoever you're hoping to finish in front of. Otherwise, back of the leaderboard for you, my friend. Oh,
indeed. Yeah. And now with the wet driving and the wet conditions, that job is just even harder. Our race winner at Bahrain is now down in P9. Oh! He's almost sent it into the wall, and he might have to go to the pits almost once again.
Yeah, I saw that. I'm like, oh, is he going to make it? Is he going to make that turn? And I'm like,
yeah, it was definitely a tight one. That is for sure.
Yikes.
Now, hopefully... I'd say Lepson,
serves his penalty now, it'll almost not even be a penalty because he won't lose any track position.
Now, I'm not sure if he's allowed to serve his penalty, though, under safety car. That might be a little bit of a or too much of an advantage compared to the other drivers. So if he has to ever pit again, I think that's when he's going to serve his his 5 seconds.
Okay, so no little asterisks there. We can't like Michael Schumacher the rules a little bit and
We can't
you know,
serve
twist
the
things
black
around.
flag at the end of the race.
All right, so let's
Lepson
see.
is still on his way, and I think he's having still some trouble navigating the wet conditions. Hopefully he can bring it back, as I think he's just having trouble
that was
trying to
another
find his
lockup,
braking
yeah.
points. He's locking up a lot.
This is ooh. Do you almost consider, okay, just get on the full wets at this point and just kind of, you know, see what you can get out of this? Because Lepson has a bit of an incentive here to just survive.
Indeed.
If he can make it to the end of the race, or at least I believe, let's see, 26 laps, let's go, 10% is 2.6. So if he can get to lap 23, he'll be classified. He's just got to survive 6 more laps, you know, and he'll be guaranteed that single point.
Exactly. I think for him, it's just going to be maybe taking that gamble, as you said, going to the wet, seeing how that works out. What do you have to lose? You further back down the grid, I mean, you're still P10. As you said, still get points. It still gets you something. You don't walk away with nothing.
I mean, I hate to segue, but it really is just, you know, at this point, a drive to survive for Lepson. Get that point.
Indeed, as we might be seeing possible call from race control. He's too far back. We might need to go now. We'll be given that notice. We've seen this race control maybe gives it a little late. Eh? Nope.
Right
race control.
now.
Race control says we will do one more. We will give Lepson one more run, and he's closing in. 35. He was about 50. Oh. Maybe saw him almost lose it. I was scared there for a second.
Yeah, it looks like a minor connectivity issue, because that is not a very smooth run around the track. It looks like connectivity might be an issue here. I never want to speculate too much, but it looks like the car is just kind of jumping around, like some kind of lag is in play here. But
Indeed.
he is catching the pack. It was 30, now it's 27. 26, it should get down, and hopefully we will be able to get going under green at the end of this lap.
Now, I think we talked about it earlier, honestly, after the first safety car. Obviously, now I think we're on our 4th, and hopefully our last. I don't think so with the wet conditions, though. But the winners and losers, Rickety obviously now up 1 position. He started on, P2, was able to now take hold in terms of the entire race, and now leading. But then Gamma B as well, also now P9 with Merrick also coming up to 10 positions, or up 9 and up 10. They've done a solid drive.
Merrick started 14th. I mean, he was last on the grid. So
this Williams driver has had a great day. The Williams garage is going to be loving if he can bring it home today.
Yeah. Maybe even contend for a podium. He's in that spot, But right now, everything, if I'm on the track right now, I'm almost just like, all right, if you want to race me, no, just go. Get in front of me. Leave me alone. I want to get through, get to the end, get to the checkered flag. If I lose a position or two, so what?
At least I finish.
Everybody else, if they want to be the hammerheads, let them go for it, because they're going to race somebody else and put themselves into a wall, most likely. And then I get to wave, bye-bye, as, they're smashed into the wall, and I get to repass them later on.
And I think we're getting the call now. Lepson has caught the pack, and race control calls it official. We are going for green flag racing now officially into a full wet or a intermediate condition, as Gamma B going for Gamma.
We can see the rain coming down.
It is coming down, and Gamma is going for the Verstappen approach, really trying to get close, and I think Rickety knows it and is really trying to weave the car to defend that. Now, I think Rickety, knowing him and his racecraft, he's a very smart driver, and I think he knows, let me not make the mistake and starting too early. Let me wait until that finish line.
I think we got somebody that bit and passed a little too early. I think Magnetique may have gone through.
Oh, no,
Oh, no. Catastrophius.
Whoa, that is...
out.
2 cars in the back collide, and I think Magnatech was a part of it and he just went straight to the pit lane. I think that was what his run was for.
You know, it looked like there was a bit of chaos at the front of the order, and it, just like an accordion, they all just kind of accordion together, and you just have nowhere to go, and out, by.
I think the nerves were a little tingling, and Lars behind goes a little deep into the wall, and I think now Rocco is going for the overtake. He's side by side in the 2 Haas drivers, now P3 and P5. Again, as you mentioned, they just need to finish. They're pulling home some great points as Rocco is spun into the wall, and that looks like from TC Mustache possibly have spun him into the wall. The FIA is going to be having a great night tonight.
A little help on that one.
Yeah, indeed.
This is oh boy.
Now,
you know, just one of those things. Oh man.
Now it looks like Rickety has been overtaken by Gamab, and it looks like Rickety's struggling a little bit. Looks like he was having some difficulties getting that power down. Is now already Gamab is now a second away. 9/10 out and now a second. No DRS, so all he has to do is just keep it moving forward. A lot of these drivers just need to keep it moving. Oh! The wall has claimed another victim.
Oh, wow. The wall just kind of reaching out and touching someone. Lars, unfortunately...
It's another full course!
We get that. No.
That's number 5 for the day.
Magnetique, it looked like, did a little wiggle and whacked himself up against the wall, bringing out the yellow.
And I think also the incident between Rocco and TC onto the main straight, TC losing his front wing, he's gone. And I assume his teammate Lars is probably also fuming as well. Because Bill, tell me if I'm wrong, but this looks like it's full wets right now. I'm seeing some massive puddles on the track right now.
I would be going on full wets if I were switching out, but it looks like we have intermediate.
We are relentless to the intermediates.
That, I don't know if that's the right tire to be on right now.
Now,
I mean, the rain is coming down. You can see it.
Indeed. Now, the Red Bull driver of Gamab has elected to stay out as well as Magnatech. Now, Magnatech only on 1 lap old, which was that last lap he just did. But Gamab has stayed on his used intermediates. Now, we don't know how used they are or how they feel for him. We can only take a look by how he's driving and how comfortable they might feel. But the rest of the grid, Rickety, Rocco, TC, Merrick, and Lepson have elected to stay or go to new tires, fresh intermediates. Maybe getting some extra pace to pass the 2 at the front.
Well, Gamma pretty much dusted Rickety off the restart the last time around, so he had some tires, and we only got a lap and some change out of that last run before the yellow came back out. I don't think the intermediates would be all that cooked. Should be able to get to the end of the race on these 4-lap old intermediates. We're going to get at least one more yellow lap because there's no way they're going to go green now with the field so spread out.
Well, the safety car does need to complete 1 full lap, so this will be its full lap, and so the next lap probably would be, like you said, it's in lap, and we will see continuation of racing. But I'm very curious, as you said, you know, keep driving forward, and I think Lepson has proven this. He's now easily caught everybody, driving just fine. Now, granted, we don't know if he has any other damage to the car. P7, bagged more points.
Yeah, I mean, what more could you ask for if you're Lepson? You know, you just, want to survive. And now, instead of 1 point, he's looking at...
I think 4.
1, 2, 4, yeah. 4 points. So, the jackpot just keeps going up and up for, survive this lap and, more points.
Indeed.
Yeah.
If you were maybe not the quickest driver on the grid, but you've continued to just survive, I think you've now survived well and truly enough to be able to get some points.
Well, he's getting ever so closer to that lap 23. Complete lap 23. You'll be classified. That's your 90% point. At that point, just kind of full send it, try to get what you can, and whatever happens, happens. But at least get to lap 23 so you can get points, and then everything else past that, completely a bonus.
I think we might be seeing a change for the championship lead. Now, Verkin's finishing outside of the points, not getting anything. And no other drivers that have also DNF'd will be pulling any points because outside of the 85-90% mark of laps.
Yeah, it's 90%
90%
classified.
So then, yeah, I mean, yet anyone has really classified points. So it's not looking too hot for the drivers that have DNF'd, but the drivers that have continued to drive here today are going to be so happy. A lot of people that are, like I said, Verkin's, our current championship leader, is out of the points. The championship is still wide open.
Yeah, that is going to definitely change the standings. With the leader out, everybody's going to catch up and possibly even pass. I can't fathom after 2 races that much of a cushion being built up, as the safety car does show that it's coming in. And
Gamab is going to be the restarter here today with another one. I think we've had a different person restart almost every single one, except for the first 2. I think the first 2 were the same, and it was Catastrophius.
Yeah, who unfortunately was claimed in that incident that brought out the safety. That Ferrari is really close. All right, into the wall.
More carnage in Lepson also.
Oh no!
We're playing on a freaking slip and slide here today, boys. And Rickety's inherited P1. He's moved ahead. He's dodged all the carnage. He's moved ahead. And now Rocco and TC are going to be going for the podium, as Rocco is maybe getting a move on for Rickety, as we might see the Ferrari. Oh, the Ferrari. Oh, he's gone for a little slide. Oh, left.
Oh no!
What a great camera angle we just got of all of that action.
Oh man.
At this point, is it worth to even go change your front wing?
Absolutely.
Or no, but
look what lap you're on. You absolutely need to finish this lap, because at this point...
No, I'm saying to change your front wing. Like, should they just continue on? Like, and maybe the guys that are in this pack...
all right. Here's what's going to happen. You go in, you get into the pits. Somebody else, out of these front 4 runners, I almost want to guarantee you, commentator curse be damned, I am guaranteeing it. This is not a curse. This is commentator guarantee. We're going to have another yellow by the end of the race.
Well, you better hope for it soon, because if the safety car doesn't come out this lap, you will only be seeing possibly just VSCs, if I'm not wrong.
Yeah, that is true. Yeah, okay. Yeah, I doubt
it's still yellow, but I think... Oh, here we go. This might be the final battle for the rest of the... for the lead. Hopefully, these are the 2 guys fighting it out for P1. Rocco and Rickety going for the little drag race down the main straight. Now, we haven't really been able to really discern who's going to be the challenger and the holder of the P1 for the entire race, with all the safety cars and all the change of strategy. And I think now we've just hit it.
Well, if we can stay clean, it is Baku. If the operative phrase here, we do have at least Lepson into the pit. Magnetique braving it and not going into the pits, going to try to just get around the track with one wing. And, oh boy.
That's the slip and slide.
Bumper car action there.
We're going for the slip and slide action as Rocco and Rickety continue to press on. Now 4.5 tenths the gap between the two. As now Gamab is now getting a little bit further away from TC Mustache. And he's going to try to keep in range, but he's going to be careful because Merrick, who I think has a full front wing, if I could be wrong, is looking to eye up that P4 and possibly even that P3.
Yeah, you've got a shot at a podium here. If you're, Gamab, Ethan, Merrick, Magnetique and Lepsin are just kind of, all right, survive, give me my points, survive.
They've hit, they're on 23, so they need to finish this lap.
Yeah.
Yeah, so they need to finish this.
Cross the line here, assuming they don't full send it into a wall or something.
Into the infamous wall.
They will, secure themselves for points just for making it across, and then everything else at this point is a bonus. So Lepsin and Magnetique may have a little bit of a battle in the back for what might be the difference between 4 and 6 points, if I recall my scoring correctly.
I think you are correct. For P7 is going to be 4, P6 is 5, P5 is 6, and P4 is 8. And then 10, 12, 16 for the top 3. Now, it looks like Gamab has gone into the pits. I think he's said it's enough is enough. I need a front wing. So he's given up P5. Now the battle between giving up P3. Now the last spot of the podium is between the Haas and the Williams. I mean, in this day and age in F1, I would have never thought these two would be battling it for a podium.
Yeah, the simulation aspect is real for this one. But, at the end of the day, both of these runners have... Whoa, wait a second. Magnetique, I'm not sure that's the tire you want to be going out on there, buddy.
Let's watch a slip and slide ensue. If we've thought people have been playing bumper cars, I think he'll be playing bumper cars off the walls here just right now.
Yeah, this is going to be a tough ask for a soft tire out in the rain like that. But, maybe he's going to, a shot at fastest lap because why not? But,
I think Lepsin's going for the move. He's just, he's not having it too much. It looks like he's still pretty slow on those softs. And I mean, going on board, we still have raindrops falling, so the rain is not ended. He's elected to go to the softs while it's still raining.
Yeah, that maybe not the right call, but let's focus back up at the front because we've got Rickety and Rocco 0.3 of a second behind. So this is going to be a battle. Uh-oh.
Oh no.
Oh, Ethan.
He's classified. So he has...
Yeah, he is classified. He is classified. And now Lepsin and Magnetique have now jumped up.
One more.
They've scored a bonus.
Oh, and that looks brutal. I think the wet conditions have just claimed another driver, unfortunately.
For Lepsin and Magnetique, once they cross where Ethan was, the jackpot bells ring and they bank another point that, otherwise, with the way this has gone, they, getting anything out of this is just fantastic.
And Magnatech, talking about him, 7, now possibly 8 seconds behind Lepsin. And those soft tires are not looking to do him wonders right now.
No, not at all. I think he may want to seriously consider going into the pits, but, at this point, it's just got to be the whole drive to survive mentality. We got Rickety and Rocco at the front, and we've got big time differences. 10 seconds to third, another 7 seconds to Gamab in fourth. What looks to be 11 plus seconds. Or is that intervals between each other, those individual gaps? Because they look all spread out throughout the track. They're just going, all right, let's just get around and get to the end of the race. It's 2 laps away. Now we're going to see the white flag come out as Rickety and Rocco 0.6 of a second separate the two. We go into our final lap. Here we go.
Indeed. Now Rickety has been waiting for this moment to come. The end of the race. Finally, it's happening. We've hit the end. And plenty of safety cars indeed today. And I think I called it at the beginning, there's plenty of those to be expected, and it delivered. Rocco, though, I think in the castle section tapped his front wing, so he's not got all of that front wing, obviously towards the end. Or he's got a little bit, he's got all of his front wing there, so he might have a little bit of a bent front wing, possibly some damage to it for within now half a second. And he's going to be trying to just give it everything he's got to pass Rickety. He's been sitting behind that McLaren since the restart for the last 5 laps. And he thinks this is his time now to go for the overtake. Now 0.3 the gap. It is closing, and it's closing quickly. It's all down between these two.
Yeah, we'll see what happens here. I mean, there's a good half a lap left, and the gap has closed. Make it through Castle clean. Try to carry some speed, and make what you can with it. So, Rocco, it's starting to rubber band out a bit. Rickety able to get on the gas a little bit quicker, so the gap is going to hold at about half a second, but we'll see if Rocco just tries to go for it. Gain back a little bit, and just not able to get onto the accelerator as quickly as Rickety. Still just under half a second, and we're starting to run out of real estate as Rickety's getting onto the front stretch here. So one little kink to go, and this should be it.
And that's it. He's made it.
This is now just a drag race at this point, and Rickety looks like he's got the wheels, and we'll call it here. Rickety, your winner.
Yeah, the Rickety's brought home P1 of the Azerbaijan Grand Prix, and that's what you expected. I think out of him, he's a driver of high class, high caliber. So to see him pull home a win, I think is well deserved out of him, and quite expected, as I mentioned. Now, Rocco coming home in P2, Merrick coming home in P3, Gamab coming home in P4, Lepson. I mean, we were talking about him not even getting in the points 10 laps ago, and look at him, P5, bagging home some really, really solid points, right? 6 points versus 1. He continued on, and he delivered. He was able to bag home so much more than we expected. Maybe he was expecting at how it felt. In our last one, we'll be probably waiting for a little bit. Magnatech,
Boy.
In the Ferrari too. I mean, you couldn't have read a better story than that at the end of the race.
No. Ay, there goes the wing. But yeah, Magnetique, I believe, brought out a caution, or a local caution in Sector 1 earlier in the lap. So a little bit of a bonk, I believe, in Turn 3. The soft tires just not the right play. And, maybe that's something he'd like to have back, because maybe he could have been 5th instead of, Lepson. Those points add up at the end of the year. So, we'll see what happens is, just everybody trying to make it around the track. Magnetique will end the race for us as he crosses the line. So this will do it for our race. Everyone on the track able to cross the line.
We've made it, Bill. We've made it.
Woo.
20, what was it? We said it was 29? No, it was 26. 26 laps, 5 safety cars. I mean, you barely even got to see DRS.
Oh, the rain might have had a little something to do with that. Coming out halfway in the race with forcing everybody into the intermediates and catching a couple people out that were up at the top of the leaderboard, like Catastropheus and Lars. I believe both just getting, a little bit of the weather whammy and costing them their race, essentially.
Indeed. What an exciting race, though. You couldn't have predicted at the beginning who was going to be taking home the win. by the end, I mean, you could have been completely wrong. But our finishers, we only have, what is it? We only had 6. Rickety, Rocco, Merrick, Gamab, Lepson, and Magnatech. We have a lot of DNFs. Unfortunately, you don't like to see that. Going down the order. Oh my. Grumps, I mean, didn't even get to complete a lap. He never even finished a lap, and you can tell, didn't even set a lap time. We'll pop into the race director just for anybody into the race that didn't grab that. It's going to be one more over. There we go. Just in case they need it. But Bill, what do you think? Baku, I think it's a crash city.
Yeah, it is definitely a difficult racetrack. Just from, the degree of difficulty, for a diver, you got to do all these fancy tricks and whatnot, and you get graded on the degree of difficulty. Azerbaijan's racetrack is definitely the most difficult track out of the entirety of the Formula One calendar, because your mistakes, just minor little mistakes, can get magnified into your car just exploding into oblivion. You catch, just a little bit of the castle corner and you're done for. You're just into a wall. There is no mistake room.
Indeed. I think with street tracks like this, it's definitely an intense race to be able to just, like you said, just see who can finish. Now we're going to pull it over to the interviews. Hopefully see if we can get a couple of drivers queued up. And I'm hopefully trying to see if we can grab our podium for sure. Bill, if you want to meet me over to the race paddock.
We got...
And we can see if we can grab a couple of those guys.
Yeah, we'll actually have to go over there.
Yeah. We'll have to meet them over there. Pretty much off them running off to the podium. So let's head over and we're going to grab Rickety as our first interview. We're going to be waiting for Rickety to walk into the interview booth. Hopefully we can grab him in.
I'm on you.
Yeah. He's having a little too much fun off of the back of his win. But we got him in here. We got Rickety in here. Welcome. Congratulations on your P1 victory. It started off pretty well, honestly, starting with qualifying and starting P2. But run us through the race a little bit. Obviously, it was a lot of safety cars and a lot of strategy up in the air.
Well, I'm just glad that I drove my car. No, I'm joking. Qualifying went great. It went as somewhat expected. I didn't expect that I would have that much pace during wet qualifying, but yeah, I just proven wrong and got P2, I think. The start was mediocre. I just was on the hards. It just didn't really grip up, and the hards were horrible throughout the whole race. And as soon as the opportunity came for mediums, I switched over to mediums. And we were counting on stretch it as far as until the rain, at least. And yeah, from there on out, it was only a matter of keeping it out of the walls.
Indeed. Bill, any questions for big man Rick here?
Well, my question was, you mentioned the hards were terrible. Do you think other racers were also struggling on that tire? Or was it just a setup thing for you that you just couldn't get the hard tires to work?
The hard tire just generally didn't work. And I think it was for all of us. I think some of us cope with the hard tires better than others, and I just wasn't one of them. They just didn't work. And you can see that because as soon as I switched to the mediums, I maybe was 1 second faster than them. So yeah, I think it's just the hard were terrible. But boys, that makes it 3 in a row, 3 seasons in a row. A win in Baku.
I think you have a little bit of a consistency strike at Baku. I think it's your favorite track at this point. Might be, you can count into it at that point.
And first Baku race wasn't even on a wheel with force feedback, but a good friend of mine, Fury, gave it to me. I appreciate it with all my heart. She teamed up with my girlfriend to buy that wheel, and that earned me my first win, and rest is history, I guess.
And you became a driver's champion after that. I mean, story couldn't have been written any better. But Baku, done. It's over. On to next week, being Canada. Opinions. Tell us about it. How are you feeling after Azerbaijan going into Canada?
We'll see. Canada is an okay track, but so was Spain, and I was P2 for the whole race until your teammate Two Shark took me out. But yeah, no, Canada, it's an okay track. I don't expect much of it, but we'll have to see moving on.
And in terms of obviously the championship, Verkins didn't finish in the points. Championship's wide open. Do you think you're going to be a good contender to maybe get? Is now you're going to be your third drivers' championship?
Third, yeah, but if I win it, it's just another bonus. In the grand scheme of things, I don't really care about the World Driver Championship at this point. I just want a good result for McLaren and have fun racing. But yeah, like if I win another one, that's a bonus. If not, then it's whatever. I don't really care much of it.
You're going to be the most decorated driver if I think you win that drivers' championship in the entire Power F1 racing league. Maybe become like Michael Phelps a little bit and just have a bunch of titles.
Let's make it 7 and then just
go for
winning.
Yeah, and then just disappear. Or you could go like Nico Rosberg and just get one and done.
That was the initial plan, but yeah, that didn't pan out. No, yeah, maybe a third. Who knows?
We'll be looking forward to seeing you next week at Canada. Thank you so much for stopping by, and congratulations on your win.
Thank you for commentating. Bye-bye.
I'll be looking to pull in Rocco, see if we can grab him in P2. The AlphaTauri driver showing off some pretty good pace today, so hopefully we can have him stop by and say hi. Bill, how are we feeling? Getting moved up a little bit?
Great.
I feel like it was a long race. We were sitting down a while.
Yeah, I was able to get up and walk around, and we are graced by Rocco now, dragged in, kicking and screaming into the interview booth. So let's put the spotlight on and come in with the hard questions.
Rocco, welcome.
Hey, man.
Congratulations on P2. As we talked to Rickety before, it was definitely the most confusing race, probably as a driver, having to navigate the strategy around this race, obviously with about 5 safety cars. In terms of your own take, how do you feel in terms of confidence level at Baku? Did you feel like it was going to be a strong track for you?
No, Baku has never really been a strong track for me, but I mean, with the setup as well, it was pretty good, so it helped me be pretty quick, but I messed up in qualifying and just hit the wall in the last corner.
Unfortunate. I mean, at least you can say that even though you don't like it too much, you finished P2. Now, in the battle with Rickety, I mean, you were sitting behind his tail for 5-6 laps, especially into the restart. How was that? I think you tapped your wing on the 25th lap. Is that correct?
I hit twice. I hit on 23 and then got light damage, and then I got orange on 25. My setup was really slow in a straight line, so I just could not catch him. And then when my wing was gone, I couldn't catch him in the corners.
Bill?
Yeah, that pretty much covered everything that I wanted to ask about, because I really wanted to know if you thought you had anything left, and that explanation just about covered it for the end of the race there. Just, bring it home in second, avoid the whammy, pick up the points, and where do you think you stand now with the overall championship picture going forward?
I mean, I don't actually know who's leading right now, but I mean, I think I'm P6 or something around there. I mean, I can try catch up, but I mean, the next track for me is a pretty good one at Montreal, so I hope for a good one next week.
Okay, well, then things are looking up. I mean, the championship leader was not classified, so no points for the championship leader. So everything you got here will, close that gap, possibly even, if you were close enough, move you up the standings maybe a couple spots. So go into a track where you should put up another good result. You get that consistency going, keep yourself up at the top of the leaderboard, see where it takes you.
Consistency is my main problem, so if I can keep consistent this time, then maybe I'll have a good season for once.
Okay. Well, looking forward to seeing you in Canada and the races onward. So good luck to you, Rocco.
Thank you.
Well, Bill, I think we've hit all of our podium finishers. Now we still do have 3 others. What do you feel? Do we want to bring others? And I think all 3 did not finish the race. I mean, we get some stories from the
Gamab was your buddy Two Shark. Catastrophe was our pole sitter. So I'd like to bring him in, if nobody else.
Yeah, let's get the rest of the grid in. Obviously, let's grab them in. I'm gonna bring in Gamab and get a little bit of words from the Red Bull driver. Unfortunately, had a little bit of an incident, Gamab, at the end of the race. You lost your front wing. Do you want to just give us a little bit of a rundown on what happened? I don't think we got a great angle of kind of the perspective of what happened.
Well, you see, the thing is, wait, which instant? I was in
At the very well, I mean,
we're just kind of giving you the rope here, and hopefully, you don't do what I think you're gonna do with that rope. So try not to hang yourself here. Keep it clean, and take us through, your version of events, as it were.
Well, actually, I know. So effectively, on the safety car restart, the game just made me fully go off the gas. So I had no like momentum going to turn 1. Got overtaken by the Ferrari, and then the Ferrari didn't leave me enough room. So my left and my right, like part of the wing, was on orange. So I was like, okay, cool. This is going to be a bit of a struggle for these last couple of laps. And then yeah, I didn't expect the lack of downforce to be as great as it was, and then I just flew into the wall and had to box. So yeah, it wasn't ideal, but I mean, I'm happy that I know my pace was there. I mean, me, Ricky, and Rocco, fastest cars on track, and I could have won it, but it's just unfortunate. I mean, if it was a dry race, I think I would have been doing pretty well, but it's just the rain added a new element that I wasn't ready for. So, yeah.
Now looking towards the obvious entire picture, only 7 drivers classified points. Everyone else wasn't able to finish enough laps to be able to finish or get all those points. So championship's still wide open. Do you feel like you still have an opportunity to take lead or even possibly win the championship? Obviously, just only at round 3 though.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, the pace I had in that race says it all. As long as all the races from now aren't wet races, I think I'll be all right.
And in terms of Montreal coming up next, Canada, how do you feel moving into that?
Mid. I don't know, not that good. I mean, all I got to do is score points. I don't necessarily want to win. As long as I'm there or thereabouts and I'm scoring the points I need to score, then that's all that matters to me.
You just not like street tracks?
I was quick. No, I like street tracks, just not when there's other people on the street tracks with me.
So when you're racing?
Yeah, effectively.
Awesome. Bill, any questions?
No, I think, for the purpose of Gamab here, what it was an error out of your control, essentially, that led to your unfortunate demise in this race?
Yeah.
Okay. Next,
Well,
I remember you.
well, sort of. It's a bit 50-50, is it?
Okay, all right.
Yeah,
Well,
but
we don't want you to incriminate yourself here, but
yeah, basically.
Stuff happens. I get it.
Yeah, exactly.
I was a, I race on dirt ovals a lot, and you know, stuff happens. So it's
Exactly.
one of those things where you have a little back of the pits discussion with somebody and keep it at that. So
Yeah, I think that's what it'll be.
so
Yeah.
you're looking at just trying to stay consistent the rest of the way, bring home a couple podiums, and see where it lets you leave.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, that's literally it. I'll see in a few races where I'm at in terms of the championship, but I'm gonna go out there and drive my best. So that's all that matters.
All right, well, good luck to you going forward, and we'll
Yeah,
see you next week in Canada. Yeah.
yeah. See you next week.
All right.
All right.
All right.
See you,
Well,
boys.
moving on. Who would be? I think it was Lars that finished ahead of Catastrophia. So let's grab him in next and ask him a couple questions. Lars, welcome, welcome. Baku. It's
Slightest bit interested, to be quite honest with you.
Oh no. Oh
oh
no.
Backing everything, we did everything right. Both Hasses did everything right. We got a great start, kept everything clean, aside from Catastropheas, who seems to think that my car wasn't there on the inside on the start of lap 4, and is arguing that, okay, it was my fault, but we'll let the stewards decide that. Kept everything clean, got the pit stop onto the inters just perfect, and then for some reason with this game, no matter what I did, pumping the brakes, revving the tires on the rear, weaving left and right, tires would not even hit 60 degrees Celsius. Broke early for the corner in the third sector. Car doesn't care. Straight in the wall, tires off, done. And then Mustache literally kisses the Armco barrier coming through sector 3. The game registers it as a full-on hit to the wall, and his 2 left tires come off. Like,
Yikes.
between the game being a piece of crap and some of the driving standards that we saw again today, part of me's wondering why I come back week after week, to be quite honest, because this is getting ridiculous. We had, I think, 6 safety cars. We spent longer under safety car than in an actual race.
There were
I've
5
heard-
safety cars, I believe. But still, that is a lot of
I've had
time under the
everyone in
safety
mic-
car.
I've had everyone in the mic complaining about someone else's driving standards. Like, I don't even know what to say at this point. Like, this is getting ridiculous. Consistently now, for 3 weeks in a row, aside from the one driver in the previous race that Frico and I will not mention, Academy have driven better than Challenger. I had Joner, who was watching the race, basically talking to me there. Obviously apologized for, like, well, I say apologize. He would say, commiserations for what happened to me, his mustache, but he basically said, Challenger 1 is full of quality merchants who can do a time trial lap but can't actually drive in a race to save their lives. And I'm starting to agree with him, to be quite honest, because this has been pathetic these past 3 weeks. And that's not even for my DNF. My DNF was, my own wee crash. That's not the point. The point is throughout the whole race, like, I just heard complaints after complaints after complaints. It was horrific. So I don't even know. I'm sorry that I'm venting, but to be quite honest, I really couldn't care less.
no, you're fine. We wanted to hear a little bit of perspective around the grid, kind of what happened. Only obviously we've had 14 drivers start, and we only had 6 finish. So there was a lot of stuff happening up and down the grid. So we just want to get a little bit of a story of a little bit of what happened further back.
What happened further back, I don't even remember. I know that I have the wee clip there about me and Catastropheus on lap 4. And after that, my vision is just full of safety car warnings, to be quite honest. I didn't really get involved in any particular action as a result of that. I was just constantly driving around. So it's all a bit of a hazy blur because not a whole lot happened. If it looked like there was action, it was just someone smashing into the wall. Like, I saw Unstoppable in the wall at one point. I saw Verkins in the wall. And anytime I overtook a car, it's because they'd blown up into the wall. That was it. So I don't know what it was like from your perspective, But from my end, it was just a mess from start to finish across the field. Haas included, us included. So,
Well, looking on to Montreal next week, I mean, are we feeling a little bit better, a little bit more confident? Obviously, going to be a little bit of a similar possible story, obviously being closer walls and a little bit kind of a street track kind of style. Are you maybe a little bit more prepared, or are you kind of having the same kind of warning signs possibly coming up from this race for the next race?
in terms of the track, hopefully it's a bit more flowing. It seems to be a bit easier. It's not just constant 90-degree hairpins, so we've got that going for us at least. Whether the game decides to actually behave, because last season I raced in Montreal, I think, not last season with you, Sharp, but like the previous season before, I got spun out, tapped the wall, I recorded it 12 miles an hour, and my front wheel flew off. So if the Codemasters gods are kind, maybe we'll get some points. But given the way the rest of the field have been driving recently, I genuinely don't know if I'll even make it to the end, to be brutally honest with you. So,
Well, we'll be rooting for you come next week, and hopefully to have a good qualifying and race result. Obviously, a benefit would just to be to finish the race, but to finish with some good points as well would be a good way to kind of wipe over Baku a little bit and kind of to forget it. But thank you so much for racing today. You still provided great racing. Unfortunately, we couldn't pull it home, but again, like I said, I look forward to seeing you pull it home next week. Okay.
right, cheers, guys.
And last but not least, Catastrophe is our pole sitter, who unfortunately didn't finish the race. Catastrophe is welcome. Welcome to the commentator booth a little bit. Just want to get some interviews with you. Our pole sitter, what a lap, by the way. You did it right at the end, on the line. You were the last driver to cross the line and set that lap. I mean, you must have been buzzing after that.
Kind of expected though, because I had a wet setup. It saw it in the race. Actually, my thing was bugged, and it said that it would rain on the whole race, not just like in the end. So it didn't. It was dry start, so I knew I was freaking screwed with a wet set of like 23 downforce. Yeah, that's a lot. Normally we do like a 6.2 or 6.3 in this track. So everyone was just passing on the straight, and if some of the incidents didn't happen, that I'm not gonna go into it now, I think I would have had like a P2 at least because of the wetness in the end. But an unfortunate event happened, and I retired.
Well, obviously the race was quite chaotic. It was not a easy one to read. Give us a little bit of a rundown. I know you definitely, or the restart. We didn't catch much of the restart. We saw you and your teammate collide. Do you want to give us a little bit of what happened?
Actually, it was not the first. It was like a follow-up, me and my teammate. So what happened was like in front of me were like two cars. Who were they? I cannot remember now. But they were like, forget to start. Like everyone's going off, and they were like two like going average speed in the straight line. Try to pass, and because of the wetness, someone like slipped. It hit me. Then we collected our teammate.
Yeah, definitely not something you want to look forward to in terms of colliding with your teammate. We've seen that happen time and time again in real life, and in the game does not bode well for you or the other driver. But Baku, I mean, it looked to be a strong track for you. Obviously, you, like we said, we talked about, you finished you qualified P1. I mean, was it a track that you think you had good pace on compared to others?
Yeah, I mean, for me, it's my favorite track. It's a weird one. Not a common one to hear for the favorite track of a driver, but this is my favorite track, and it went to not so good. Yeah.
Bill, any questions?
The strategy, it was not that hard. For me, at least, it was like I started on the medium. I knew eventually it was gonna rain, so I pitted again on the safety car for the hard, and then again on the medium just to change the tire, because I was not gonna lose any positions because of the safety car, and then I waited for the wet.
Bill, any questions we want to throw his way?
I don't think so. You were pretty spot on and touched on everything that I would have wanted to bring up as a follow-up. So I think at this point, where do you see your championship picture going forward into Canada and onward? Are you optimistic going, all right, we made it through Azerbaijan, so now I can, start to put up some real points? Or is it just, flip the desk, all right, I was on the pole and then that happened?
Yeah. I mean, Canada in the past was a strong time for me. I had like 1 or 2 wins there. Maybe a good result if rain comes. I'm usually fast in the rain.
Well, I think you proved that with, taking the pole of the race because it was rainy during the qualification session and then the second half of the race. Was
Yeah,
that just an unfortunate incident that occurred that ended up taking you out?
I believe so, yes.
Okay, so hopefully we can avoid the whammy going forward. Do you think you have what it takes to, run at the front of the pack, or are you really looking to, you know, vulture out a couple wet races and see where everything else lay afterward?
Like, to be fair with everyone, if everyone has a flawless, like if the guards above me, the chaps have a flawless races, I don't see it. Like, they have to do mistakes in order for me to go up.
Okay.
Like
Uh,
third racing, a bit back on the points. It's possible, but
Well, I mean, two races in, and in the third race, we have the championship leader not classified. So no points there to be had for the top of the leaderboard. So everybody else catches up. And, you know, at this
yeah,
point, I guess for you, not being able to capitalize on that is a bit of a bummer, but it
don't tell me.
groups the pack. Oh, yeah, hey, sorry. It is what it is,
Yeah.
but at the end of the day, where do you see yourself, after Canada? Maybe, put up a good result there. Does that put you back in the swing of things, or are you still on the back foot?
I mean, I think this race has proved like even if you have the pace, if you're fast enough, the result might not come. So I'm just gonna say it's all in the air.
It's a fair assessment. Just, hopefully we can see you at the end of the race taking the checkered flag, or at least finishing that last lap. So, good luck to you in Canada and all the races going forward, and hopefully they end a little better than this one did for you.
Thank you. Thank you, thank you.
Well, that is it for us today at Power F1 for our Challenger race. I hope everyone enjoyed. Bill, I think it was it was all over the place.
Well, you had the good, you had the bad, you had the ugly. It was very eventful and sometimes not in a good way. But, again, sometimes you have to take the good with the bad. As much as we want to have our races be completely clean, green flag racing from lap one to lap done, sometimes it just doesn't go that way. And this was one of those times, to put it bluntly.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was quite an exciting race all over, but also boring. I feel like with the safety car, it definitely just it slowed the race down. It didn't feel like it was a full race, in my opinion. We still got to finish, but we didn't get much. We didn't get much of it. We didn't know about the wet weather. That was I didn't know that was coming on the horizon. So
Yeah, that was a bit of a surprise to me. So, when the wet weather came, that was really, I think, the turning point in the race because that caused, three of our five safety cars with the wet weather coming in. So maybe it's a different, opinion of what happens if the rain doesn't come. But, revisionist history, hindsight 2020, all of that stuff. I can throw out all the sayings and whatnot, but at the end of the day, you know, we had our winner, and that was Rickety taking the checkered flag. And, we'll see what he's got for us coming in Canada and the races going forward.
Indeed. We'll be signing off here today. Tomorrow will be our Pro Series race. It's even closer battling and closer racing than we even had today or the day before. So tune in tomorrow if you want to see even more exciting Baku racing. Thank you and have a great rest of your afternoon, evening,